Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again inside Pheno Field here in Milford, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Milford Legion baseball. This is Tim Coet on the call, coming to you here with still plenty of daylight left, an earlier start time here for Milford Post 59 as we continue on to day number 4 of this 5-day Massachusetts Legion Baseball State Tournament. And a little bit more on the line for Post 59 today as they face elimination. It is an elimination game for both teams involved in this matchup here tonight. It is also a matchup of Zone 4 rivals. It is a matchup of the two Zone 4 co-champions. It is Milford taking on Leominster Post 151. And as you can see out on the field right now, it is Milford out getting warmed up. And so for the first time in this tournament, Post 59 will serve as the home team on their home field after losing the coin toss for the first 3 days and serving as the road team today. An opportunity to finally be the home team and in their home whites as they get ready for this all-important elimination game. The winner of this game today will live on to see the final day of tournament competition. And two teams coming in off of very different days yesterday. Leominster was able to have their most dominant win of the tournament so far yesterday, earning a victory in an elimination game. Leominster has been playing with their backs up against the wall after losing day 1 of the tournament. They've been staving off elimination ever since, and yesterday really flexed their muscles offensively with an 11-2 victory over Rockland, eliminating Post 147 from the tournament. And Milford, of course, if you were here at the field last night or tuning into the coverage live on Milford TV, you saw an incredible battle in the winner's bracket final between Milford and Franklin, a game that Franklin led 6-1 until the late innings. Milford mounted a furious comeback to tie the game. We went into extra innings, and after a couple of opportunities with Milford getting their go-ahead runner to third base but unable to bring him in, Franklin was able to manufacture a run in the bottom half of the 8th inning to earn a walk-off victory. So Franklin is sitting pretty in this tournament, guaranteed a spot in tomorrow's championship game. And the rest of the tournament field remaining have to win today in order to earn their spots into tomorrow's action. A lot of moving parts, a lot of different potential for the activity for the finale of the tournament tomorrow. But before we focus on that, we have to focus on the game at hand here today, and two teams with a lot of familiarity with one another in Milford and Leominster. And before this game gets started, let's bring you the starting lineups quickly. First, for the visiting team, that is Leominster Post 151. Leading it off in right field is Brandon Arsenault. The center fielder Sean Dutton bats second, with Nick Garcia, the third baseman, batting third. Tony Salvatelli is the catcher, batting cleanup, with Michael Cooper, the designated hitter, batting fifth. Dylan Adamson is the left fielder, batting sixth, with Evan McCarthy playing first base, batting seventh. Nick Ouellette is the shortstop, batting eighth, and in the ninth spot is the second baseman, Alex Oquendo. And for Milford Post 59, their starting lineup looking a little bit different today. Nick Paharic leads it off at shortstop. Noah Curley bats second, playing center field, with Evan Cornelius, the catcher, today batting third. Dante Pavone is the cleanup hitter and playing first base, with Cam Jarrett, the second baseman, batting fifth. Batting sixth is the left fielder Scott Paliuka, with Keith Lee DHing today, batting seventh. Mason Baldick gets a start here in this game today, batting eighth, playing right field. And in the ninth spot, getting the start at third base, is Sean McGee. And on the mound for Post 59, getting his first start in this state tournament, is Andrew Gaughan. Gaughan, who has played sparkling defense at third base throughout this Legion season, and in particular in this tournament, moves from his position at third base to take over on the pitcher's mound for this all-important elimination game. And already battling with the leadoff batter for Leominster, Brandon Arsenault. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count to the first batter of the game as we get underway once again with live coverage here on Milford TV. A called strike dropped in by Gaughan, and the count goes to 2-2. Breeze blowing from right to left across the field as this game gets started. And Gaughan now with a 2-2 pitch, and that's off the outside part of the plate. Milford's pitching was dominant through the first 2 days of the tournament, but Dante Pavone, yesterday's starter, ran into some trouble early against Franklin. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's sent foul just off the end of the bat, allowing Arsenault to see another pitch. Dante Pavone ended up allowing 6 runs in the second inning yesterday to give Franklin that big lead, but kudos to the Milford bullpen for really stabilizing things through the remainder of the game, as that pitch is swung on and missed. And Andrew Gaughan opens up his performance with a strikeout.
Coming to the plate, number 1, the center fielder, Sean Dutton.
It was a combination of Sean Ryan and Nick Paharic that navigated Milford through the remainder of that game and into extra innings. A tough luck loss for Paharic after he was stellar in relief. Got the first 2 outs of that bottom of the 8th inning, but then a bunt single got things moving for Franklin. And a couple of batters later, a bloop base hit out to left field brought in the game-winning run. And so how will Milford turn the page after that gut-wrenching defeat last night? They've gotten the first out here in the top of the first. Sean Dutton, the Leominster center fielder, now at the plate. And an 0-1 pitch coming up. That misses outside. As we mentioned, these teams with so much familiarity with one another as fellow Zone 4 rivals. This is now the 4th time that these two teams have met in 2022. And Milford has won all 3 of the previous meetings. The 1-1 pitch misses low. Of the 3 games that Milford and Leominster have played so far on the season, 2 of them have been runaway victories for Milford. The other, a pitcher's duel. More on that in a moment as this ball is sent to shortstop, but it clanks off the glove of Paharic. He sends a throw to first base, but it's well late. And Dutton is going to reach on the E6. Milford played error-free baseball through the first 2 games of the tournament. Nick Paharic had an error in last night's game that proved to be harmless. Now commits the error here to allow Leominster a 1-out base runner ahead of their third baseman, Nick Garcia. Garcia takes a first pitch strike. Both of these teams have enjoyed double-digit run totals in this tournament and have also made their way through tight pitchers' duels. After a check on Dutton at first base, Gaughan readies himself for an 0-1 pitch. Here it comes, and it is lifted in the air, foul. That is going to slice out of play off to the right. Defensively today for Milford, it is Evan Cornelius behind the plate, Sean McGee at third, Nick Paharic at short, Cam Jarrett at second, and Dante Pavone at first. Left to right in the outfield, Scott Paliuca, Noah Curley, and Mason Baldick. Before an 0-2 pitch, another pickoff throw. That dribbles away from Pavone. The runner gets to his feet, as the throw is not going to be in time down to second base. Pavone was a little late, realizing that that ball had trickled away, and heads up base running for Sean Dutton. He immediately got to his feet and charged down to second base. He will get there safely, and that will likely go in the books as an error on Andrew Gaughan, but a little bit more of a mental miscue for Dante Pavone. So now a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Leominster, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count on the batter Garcia. Every mistake magnified in an elimination game. Here's the 1-2, and that's in for a called strike 3. So 2 strikeouts in this inning so far for Gaughan. Trying to pitch around a couple of errors, one charged to Gaughan himself.
Coming to the plate, number 12, the catcher, Tony Salvatelli.
And so now the cleanup hitter, Tony Salvatelli, will have a chance to bat in this top of the first inning. He swings away at the first pitch and lifts it in the air, foul down the right field side, out of play. Salvatelli drove in a run in game one. It was Leominster's first run of the tournament. At the time, gave Leominster a 1-0 lead in a game that Post 151 would ultimately lose to Franklin. So both of these teams have suffered defeats at the hands of Franklin on the season. Here's a ground ball to the left side. It's smothered by Paharic. He throws from the turf. Does he get it there in time? No, they'll say Pavone was pulled off the bag. And Coach DeVito is going to have a bit of a conversation here with the first base umpire. Paharic into the dive deep in the hole at shortstop. Did not even scramble to his feet, threw horizontally on the ground and made an accurate throw to first base, but they will say that the throw pulled Pavone off the first base bag. And Coach DeVito continuing to plead his case. We cannot hear the conversation from our position. It was a bang-bang play at the bag. Again, amazing that Paharic was able to get so much on that throw, lying on the infield dirt. And not really any realistic chance that this call gets overturned. Although we'll see what happens here. There will be a conversation between the first base umpire and the home plate umpire. So Coach DeVito making a compelling argument. But in the end, the call will stand, and so that'll go in the books as an infield single for Salvatelli. And it now places runners at the corners for Leominster. And a chance now for the number 5 hitter, Michael Cooper, to come to the plate. And the pitch from Gaughan is sent on the ground. That's past the dive of Sean McGee at third base. And into score comes Dutton. Gathered in out in left field by Paliuka, but Michael Cooper produces a 2-out RBI base hit. And Leominster is going to strike first in this elimination game. They take a 1-0 lead. Salvatelli winds up at second base. And now a first pitch strike dealt into Dylan Adamson. So the errors really coming back to hurt Milford in this inning. The error by Paharic on the ground ball hit by Dutton allowed that runner to reach and come around to score. So it's an unearned run charged to Andrew Gaughan. And now a bounding ball hit over to shortstop. Another chance for Paharic. Throws across his body. And a good stretch for Pavone. And this time they say he does maintain contact with the bag. And that out will retire the side. But Leominster able to grab a couple of hits in this first inning and a run. And so after half an inning of play, it is Leominster with an early 1-0 lead. Milford will take their first swings of the game when we come back next. Stay with us here on the coverage of Milford Legion Baseball in the 2022 Massachusetts State Tournament here on Milford TV. Milford immediately facing a deficit in this elimination game. Leominster scratching across an unearned run in the top half of the first inning, and now Milford comes to the plate. Nick Paharic, Noah Curley, and Evan Cornelius, the top 3 hitters in the Milford order today. And Paharic starts off taking a look at the first pitch high from Angel Baez, the starting pitcher for Post 151. 1-1 now as that ball is fouled up over the backstop. Now through 3 games of this state tournament, Nick Paharic is batting 5 for 12. He has a double, he has walked twice, and he has scored a couple of runs. One-two pitch now, and this is popped up. And again, this will drift over the backstop. Again, Paharic pitched so well in relief yesterday, but unfortunately picking up the loss thanks to that 2-out rally in the bottom of the 8th inning for Franklin. About to see a 1-2 pitch, and it's a ground ball hit over to shortstop, cleanly held by Ouellette. And he fires to first base to record the first out here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Defensively for Leominster, post 151, it is Tony Salvatelli behind the plate, Nick Garcia at 3rd, Nick Ouellette at short, Alex Oquendo at 2nd, and Evan McCarthy at 1st. Left to right in the outfield, Dylan Adamson, Sean Dutton, and Brandon Arsenault. Now Noah Curley taking a look at ball 1 high. Noah getting moved up in the lineup here today. We've seen him typically out of the number 6 spot through the early games of this tournament, but in this 2-hole today, and not a surprise based on how he has performed offensively in this tournament so far. 5 for 9. With a pair of doubles, 3 runs batted in. He's also walked, scored a couple of runs. He's stolen 2 bases. He has been a big part of the offensive attack for Milford, including a dramatic RBI double in the late innings last night to continue Milford's comeback. But here, he takes a look at a called strike 3, a quick at bat for Curley. And a good start to this inning for Angel Baez. He's retired the first 2 batters he's faced. And so now Evan Cornelius comes to the plate. Evan drove in a run last night. He had 1 hit in 5 trips to the plate. Made his last at bat last night with the go-ahead run at 3rd base and 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning, but ended up striking out against Franklin's Jace Lyons. Ahead in the count here, 2 balls and 1 strike. This is the 2nd time Angel Baez has pitched in this tournament. He made a relief appearance. Now deals a 3-1 pitch. That's in for a called strike 2. That relief appearance ended up coming on day 2 of the tournament in Leominster's win over Fall River. And now a ground ball hit over towards 2nd base. Easy play for Oquendo. He flips it over to first base. And Milford goes 1-2-3 in their half of the 1st inning. So we've played 1 full inning now from Fino Field in this elimination game between Milford and Leominster. And it is Leominster post 151 with the 1-0 lead. Stay with the coverage here on Milford TV. Leominster right back to the plate after Angel Baez pitched an efficient 1-2-3 bottom half of the 1st inning on 15 pitches. Andrew Gaughan now will face the bottom 3rd of the Leominster order, and he deals strike 1 into the first baseman, Evan McCarthy. McCarthy has factored heavily into the first 3 games of the tournament for Leominster. He made the start on day 1, ended up lasting 6 innings, allowing just 1 run, and battled through some sort of a hand injury as that game went along, either a hand or a finger injury. But battled through those 6 innings, kept Leominster in the game, and unfortunately for Leominster, they ended up falling to Franklin in extra innings. As the count goes to 3-1 on McCarthy. Leominster has already played 2 extra inning games in their 3 days of the tournament so far. Yesterday, they finally were able to play just the regulation 7 innings in a comfortable win. Milford, of course, has played an extra inning game as well, as that pitch hits at the knees to bring the count to 3-2. McCarthy up now, Nick Ouellette and Alex Oquendo to follow. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's a line drive hit back up the middle. That's through for a base hit. Lining it past the pitcher's mound and then quickly scooting through out into center field. And that is the 3rd hit now already for Leominster.
Number 3, the shortstop, Nick Ouellette.
Post 151 with their leadoff man on base. And now here is Nick Ouellette. Ouellette, no doubt, happy to not be pitching in this game against Milford. Ouellette started the season opener between these two teams in a game that Milford ended up winning 11-0, and then got the start in the Zone 4 playoff game these two teams played, and was roughed up in that one as well. Milford ended up scoring 13 runs in that Zone 4 playoff game between these two teams. As the 1-1 pitch misses outside. So in total, Milford has scored 26 runs off of Leominster pitching so far this season with a 3-0 record, but certainly not an easy task to beat the same team 4 times in a season. And Leominster does come into this game with more momentum, having won their last 2. Milford losing last night. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Ouellette. Able to chop that one foul, and it's handled over in the third base coach's box by Leominster head coach Jeff Dedian. Gone now with the 2-2, and a check swing, and that is strike 3. Third K so far today for Andrew Gahn.
Number 2, second baseman, Alex Oquendo.
And he'll loft a pickoff throw over to first base. McCarthy able to get back to the bag standing. It's been 33 pitches so far through an inning and a third for Gahn, as he sends in strike 1 to Alex Oquendo, playing second base for Leominster today. Now that pitch misses outside. Cornelius able to stab it on the backhand. This is Evan's first game behind the plate in the tournament. Keith Lee has caught each of the first 3 games. Keith Lee in this game today, serving as the designated hitter. That pitch will skip past Cornelius, and this will allow McCarthy to wind up down at second base. Pass ball, and Milford again giving Leominster a free base, just as they did last inning. Gahn now with a 2-1 offering, and this is hit on the ground to third base. McGee bobbles it. He will send a throw across the diamond. It is not in time. McCarthy remains at second base. And that's going to end up going as Milford's 3rd error in the first 2 innings of this game. And we talked about it a little bit right off the top of the broadcast. I think the one surprise in Andrew Gaughan being tapped to get the start in this game is the incredible value that Gaughan has brought to the table with his defense at third base. He has robbed a number of hits through this tournament with some of the best defense at third base we've seen in any Legion baseball season. And so today, Sean McGee getting the start at third base and unable to make that play cleanly to allow Leominster 2 base runners aboard with 1 out, and now the top of their order bats coming up for the second time. Here's another chance for McGee, a clean play here, flips to second for the out, and that is all Milford will get as Oquendo came in hot to the second base bag. Jarrett could not release a throw. And so Milford cuts out the middleman, Oquendo out at second base. Arsenault reaches on the fielder's choice. And McCarthy moves on to third base. So runners at the corners. 2 outs now in the inning. And here is Sean Dutton. Got that little first inning rally started, reaching on an error and eventually coming around to score. Takes the first pitch low. And Milford has to be aware of the squeeze play at any point today. Leominster has used it several times in this tournament. Milford fell victim to a critical bunt play in yesterday's game. But right now, McGee playing relatively deep over at third base. Pavone holding the runner on at first. And a 2-0 pitch. This is hit on the ground to shortstop, and it's going to get past the reach of Nick Paharic, and a run is going to come in to score. Paharic shaded a bit up the middle and could not make up the ground. Dutton, a ground ball base hit to drive in a run and give Leominster now a 2-0 lead. Everyone moves up a base. So McCarthy coming in to score. Arsenault down to second base. 2 on, 2 out, and a pitch high and tight to Nick Garcia, and that's going to prompt a visit from Coach DeVito. Milford utilized 2 very important arms on their pitching staff to navigate through yesterday's game. Sean Ryan came out in relief and ended up pitching 2 2/3 innings. Nick Paharic also pitched 2 2/3 innings of relief. Neither of those arms are available today. They would be available if Milford were to make it to tomorrow. Evan Cornelius and Mario Lee are also unavailable today. Mario Lee will be available tomorrow. Cornelius unavailable for the remainder of the tournament unless we end up with another weather delay. So Gaughan getting some words of encouragement from his coach, now dealing with this at bat with Nick Garcia. Foul ball brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 45 pitches now for Andrew Gaughan. Arsenault leading away from second. Dutton off of first. Pavone playing behind the runner at first base as this pitch comes up and in and ticks off of Cornelius's glove. Another passed ball will allow 2 more runners to advance, and right now Milford not playing the kind of fundamentally sound baseball that we have seen from them throughout the season and this tournament. It's now a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Leominster with 2 more runners in scoring position. Critical pitch here for Gaughan. It's popped up foul out of play. Leominster already with a 2-0 lead, an opportunity to gain some separation. Here's another 2-2, and a ground ball hit foul. It's a lively dugout over on the third base side for Leominster. Finally enjoying some success in this matchup against Milford for the first time really this whole season. Another 2-2 pitch, and a close one framed by Cornelius, but it does not get the call. And so this runs the count full. Here is the payoff pitch, and it's popped up on the infield. Cam Jarrett taking charge, and he is able to make the catch. And that out will retire the side. Leominster gets another run, but Gone able to strand those runners in scoring position. And Milford back on their heels early on in this game. They trail Leominster by a score of 2-0. Post 59 will be back at the plate when we return next here on Milford TV. Dante Pavone, Cam Jarrett, and Scott Paliuca, the three batters coming up in the Milford half of the second inning. Pavone swinging at the first pitch. He drives it out to right field, sending Arsenault back, but he has room there to make the catch. And Pavone is out on a single pitch.
That brings up number 6, the second baseman, Cam Jarrett.
It's been 49 pitches for Andrew Gone to get through his first 2 innings of work so far in an inning and a third. Angel Baez has had to throw just 16 pitches. He set down the side in order in the first. And after retiring, Pavone now deals in strike 1 to Cam Jarrett. And Jarrett now sends one down the right field line. That's a foul ball. Jarrett has had a good tournament so far. Sends this ball down the third base line. That is foul, and it stays a 1-2 count. This is the first time Milford has not had the evening game in the tournament. Used to slightly cooler temperatures around a 7 o'clock start time as Jarrett waves and misses at that pitch. Down on strikes, 2 Ks now for Baez, and 2 outs in the bottom of the second. So that leaves the inning up to Scott Paliuca. Had a bit of a quieter day at the plate yesterday, although he did have a double in the 8th inning. Advanced to third base as the potential go-ahead run, but was left there. Had been operating out of the 2 spot in the lineup, moved down to the number 6 position today as Milford juggled the lineup a bit. 1 ball and 1 strike. Base is empty with 2 away in the bottom of the second, and Paliuca now sends this one up the middle. It was underneath the feet of Baez, and out into center field it goes for a 2-out single. So there is Milford's first hit, first base runner of the game. And it will extend this second inning to give Keith Lee a chance to bat.
Number 20, the designated hitter, Keith Lee.
And so a chance for Keith Lee, who had his best offensive game of the tournament yesterday. Had an RBI single in the second inning and then put on a great at-bat in the 6th. Eventually worked a bases-loaded walk to drive in a second run. Now takes this pitch low. It kicks away from the catcher. Salvatelli gathers it in by the batter's box, or excuse me, by the backstop. And that allows Scott Paliuca to advance down to second base. That should go as a wild pitch. So Milford with their first runner in scoring position. And Paliuka now ahead in the count 2-0, and Coach Didion sprinting out of the third base dugout. The first bit of trouble in the early goings of this outing for Baez. Coach Didion, as always, so vocal with his team from the sidelines. We had a chance to watch a good chunk of Leominster's win against Rockland yesterday, and Coach Didion was fully engaged from beginning to end. A quick chat with his starter, and now everyone resets for the 2-0 pitch. This is outside. Now 3 balls and no strikes, the count to Lee. If Keith reaches, we will see the first at bat in the state tournament for Mason Baldick. The 3-0 pitch, and Lee takes it for ball 4. Leominster dugout unhappy with that pitch being called a ball, but Lee makes his way down to first, and so here is Mason Baldick. Mason takes the first pitch for a called strike 1. Through this 2022 season, Mason did have 40 plate appearances, so he is no stranger to the batter's box. We saw him utilized mostly as a pitcher for the high school team this season. He's batted .250 on the year, but is quickly down in the count here, 0-2. And now able to make contact there to foul the pitch away. After the first 2 batters were retired, Scott Paliuka with a single, Keith Lee with a walk to put the tying runs on. Right-hander's 0-2 pitch, that is in for strike 3. A tough at bat for Baldick, and that extinguishes the rally here for Milford in the second inning. They put the tying runs aboard, but they cannot score. And after 2 full innings here from Fino Field, it remains a 2-0 lead for Leominster post 151 in this elimination game, brought to you live here on Milford TV. Milford seeming a bit shell-shocked here in this game through the early innings. They came into this tournament with a lot of confidence, played with confidence and energy through their first 3 games, but after suffering that loss last night, perhaps been a little bit of trouble shaking off the disappointment as Pavone goes after this ball in foul territory off the bat of Tony Salvatelli. He's able to make the catch, and Milford able to retire the leadoff batter here in the top of the 3rd. The dugout has been quiet so far for Milford. We've seen some uncharacteristic play defensively. A team that has made excellent defense one of the hallmarks of their success this season, but 3 errors through the early innings of this one. But still time to turn the page. It is just a 2-0 score right now. Andrew Gaughan still out there on the mound. Pitching now to the DH Michael Cooper. On a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. And this ball is lifted in the air out to left center field. It is Noah Curley who ranges in from center to make the catch. And it is 2 up and 2 down. Dylan Adamson now about to take his second at bat. Takes a look at strike 1. Dylan grounded out to shortstop in his first at bat, so 0 for 1 today. Now sends a ground ball with some speed over towards the Leominster dugout, sending a couple of players scattering at the dugout steps. 0-2 the count now on Adamson. The pitch, that is in the dirt. Cornelius will gather it in. It's now 1-2. Been a fairly consistent breeze here at the field so far. Another 1-2 pitch on the way, and it's lined out into left field. Sinking quickly, it's down for a hit, and ricochets away from Paliuka, who went into a slide to try to make the catch. And that will allow Adamson to move into second base with a 2-out double. Bit of a gift. And another questionable defensive decision for Milford. Paliuka did not look like he had a chance to make a catch on that ball. He could have played it to keep Adamson at first base, but went into that slide. The ball one-hopped his glove. Curley able to back up the play, but not before Adamson was able to reach second, so now in scoring position. And an opportunity for Evan McCarthy, who is 1 for 1 on the day. He takes a pitch low, held onto by Cornelius. One ball and no strike the count. McCarthy led off last inning with a base hit. Came around to score on the RBI single by Sean Dutton. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Coach DeVito trying to keep Gone calm from the dugout. But he falls behind McCarthy now. 3 balls and no strikes. The number 8 hitter, Nick Ouellette, waiting on deck. Here's the 3-0 now, and that's on the inside corner for a strike. And the 3-1 pitch misses up and away for ball 4. That is the first walk allowed by Andrew Gahn. And so after what looked to be the potential for a quick inning here, Leominster with a double, now a walk. And they once again have traffic on the bases, as a close pitch is ruled ball 1 to the shortstop, Nick Ouellette. Gonna check on second base, now fires in, misses high for ball 2. Andrew now up to 66 pitches and not quite finished with the 3rd inning. Now deals in a called strike for Milford to have a path to the state championship game. They're going to need to have arms available for the remainder of this game today, and they would need to play 2 full games tomorrow. And so no doubt Coach DeVito hoping to get some length out of Andrew Gahn, but with this high pitch count, we'll see how much longer he can last in this one. Working back to a 2-ball, 2-strike count, and that pitch is ruled strike 3. A borderline pitch at the bottom of the strike zone goes Gahn's way. He will certainly take it. Gets the strikeout of Ouellette to end things in the top of the 3rd. So this time Leominster threatens, but they don't score. And we will head on to the bottom half of inning number 3 with the score remaining Leominster 2 and Milford nothing. Here on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball in the 2022 Legion State Tournament live on Milford TV. Milford needing a jolt with their offense. Sean McGee leading off the inning. He sends one out to right field, but right at Brandon Arsenault, who makes the catch, and the number 9 hitter in the Milford lineup retired quickly. Second inning in a row that Milford has had their leadoff man retired on a single pitch, so Milford really struggling here, not working a lot of deep counts. 33 pitches now in the outing for Angel Baez. We'll see if Milford can make any adjustments here. Second time through the order. Nick Peharic up now for the second time. He lays off that pitch outside. 2-1 pitch coming up, and it's left high. Milford with just 2 base runners so far through 2 1/3 innings. And that pitch comes up and in for ball 4, so they'll have a 1-out base runner here as Peharic works the walk. Second free pass issued by Baez. And now here is Noah Curley. He struck out looking against Baez his first time up. And now sends a line drive over towards the second baseman. He can't get it. And it's out into center field for a base hit. That was a quick sinking line drive. At first, off the bat, it looked like that was ticketed for center field, but it ended up dropping on the infield dirt, but out of the reach of Oquendo. And Noah Curley has a single. And so Milford again places the tying runs on base, this time with 1 out. And Evan Cornelius now at the plate. Post 59 could certainly use a big hit from their big hitter. Cornelius has been so reliable all season long in these situations. Here comes the 40th pitch from Baez. And it misses for ball 1. 1-1 the count on Cornelius. Both dugouts now trying to make some noise as Cornelius shoots this pitch foul off just to the right of the Fino concession stand. We want to give a quick shout out to all of the Milford Legion staff working the concession stand throughout this tournament. They've had it stacked with all sorts of goodies. As that pitch is foul tipped into Salvatelli's mitt, and Cornelius is down on strikes. So Evan is 0 for 2. That's the 4th strikeout now for Angel Baez. And a chance to get out of the inning if he can retire Dante Pavone. But first, we'll see a full conference on the pitcher's mound.
Come on, Dante, do some damage, kid. Come on. No one better, baby.
Coach Didion is out there. And so Angel Baez remains in the game. And of course, as we have been talking about throughout the tournament, with the pitch count regulations being what they are, 69 pitches in this outing now for Angel Baez. More on that in a moment, but this ball sent off the bat from Pavone up the middle for a base hit. They'll wave Peharic around to score, and he gets in ahead of the throw. Peharic ends up scoring standing up. It is an RBI single for Pavone, so this time a first pitch swing works out in Milford's favor as Pavone drives in a run. Milford is on the scoreboard. They cut this game to a 2-1 score. The tying run now stands in scoring position at second base with Pavone at first. And a chance for Cam Jarrett, who takes a first pitch strike. So just to finish off the point quickly on Baez's pitch count, he's already in line for needing 3 days of rest. So no reason for Coach Didion to not allow him to empty the tank. puts this pitch in the dirt. It's blocked out in front by Salvatelli, so no advance from the runners. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Jarrett. He struck out swinging in his first at bat. Better energy out of the Milford dugout now with a run on the board as Jarrett watches that pitch sail outside. Cam for the tournament now 4 for 12. He's driven in 2 runs in the state tournament. He's scored 4 times. He has a double to his credit. He's also been hit by a pitch, and I think I'm comfortable in saying that Milford leads the state tournament in hit by pitches. They have been hit in every one of these games multiple times. Here's a 3-1 pitch now to Jarrett, and that misses outside for ball 4. So Jarrett works a walk. He is at first base. That pushes Pavone down to second base. Noah Curley now at third as Milford has the bases loaded with 2 outs in the inning. The tying and go-ahead runs now both in scoring position. And a big at-bat here for Scott Paliuka. And Scott takes the first pitch on the outside edge for strike 1. Scott is 1 for 1 today. He singled in his first at-bat. And Scott granted time, one of the few lefties in this Milford lineup. Facing the right-hander, Angel Baez. Here's the 0-1, and it's taken for strike 2. So Baez down in an 0-2 hole, or excuse me, Paliuka down in the 0-2 hole. Baez trying to get out of this bases loaded jam. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's sent down the left field line. That's a fair ball. The tying run scores. Here comes Noah Curley as the go-ahead run. He will cross the plate as Cam Jarrett advances to third, and Paliuka flexes the muscles down at second base. He drives in 2 with the double, and just like that, Milford is able to jump on top. It is now 3-2. An opposite field 2-run double for Scott Paliuka on an 0-2 pitch. Excellent hitting. Runners at second and third now for Milford. And post 59 hoping for more now in this inning. They send their 8th batter to the plate, Keith Lee. Out in front of that pitch as the count evens at 1-1. Keith walked his first time up. And now takes that pitch outside. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Quendo a peek over to third, now deals the pitch. And it gets past Lee's bat, and the count evens once again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. Baez now at 55 pitches. And that one is left outside. I think I was looking at the home side pitch count when I talked about Baez's pitch count earlier. So it is in fact 56 pitches now through 2 2/3 innings. And that pitch misses high for ball 4. And so Lee works another walk. Really gotta love the plate discipline you've seen out of Keith Lee in these last couple of games. On base here to load them up once again ahead of Mason Baldick, and Baldick gets called down the third base line by Coach DeVito. He puts a hand on each shoulder to talk things over with Baldick. Again, it's been a little while since Baldick's gotten into a game offensively. Now making his second at bat of this state tournament. He struck out looking in his previous at bat today. And up in a huge spot. Milford has taken the lead, but an opportunity here for more with the bases reloaded. And Baldick swings at the first pitch, sends a ground ball to second base. Oquendo will flip it to the shortstop, covering the second base bag for the out that will end the inning. But Milford does strike for 3 runs, and they turn a 2-0 deficit into a 3-2 lead, as we will move on to the 4th inning next in this elimination game between the Zone 4 co-champs. Stay tuned live here on Milford TV. A different situation here for Andrew Gaughan, now able to pitch with a lead. As Milford fought back for 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, they now lead this game 3-2. And Gaughan now set to deal with batters 9, 1, and 2 in the Leominster lineup. Oquendo sending a ground ball to his counterpart, Paharic. And Paharic gets the out at first base. Not the counterpart, as Oquendo is at second base for this game today. But a 6-3 ground out nonetheless brings the first out of the inning. Milford now with 3 runs on 4 hits with 3 errors in this game. Leominster 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The pitch count now at 71 for Andrew Gaughan, who sends a pitch high to Brendan Arsenault, now making his 3rd plate appearance. Brendan has struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. Here's the 1-0, and that spins Arsenault off the plate. 2-0 pitch, and that's low for ball 3. Leominster dugout staying engaged as that pitch is in for a strike. Arsenault taking all the way. And now this ball hit over towards the left side into the glove of McGee. Hustles the throw across, and it's there in time for the out. And so after Gaughan fell behind in the at-bat, he ends up inducing the ground ball. McGee makes the play, and it's 2 up, 2 down in the 4th. Gaughan got the start for Milford against Leominster in that Zone 4 playoff game. Ended up pitching 3 innings in that game, allowed 3 runs, but was supplied plenty of run support. Here he's able to do the job in the 4th inning as Sean Dutton pops out to center field, and it is a quick and easy 1-2-3 4th inning. Nice shutdown inning for Gaughan after Milford was able to take the lead. So we'll move right on to the bottom half of inning number 4, and it is Milford in front of Leominster by a score of 3-2. Stay with the coverage here on Milford TV. Second straight inning, we'll see Sean McGee lead off. He takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Angel Baez still out there for Leominster. McGee flew out to right field to lead off last inning. And from there, Milford able to go to work, scoring 3 times in the inning. RBI hits by Pavone and Paliuca to give Milford now a 3-2 lead. 2-ball, 1-strike count now on the Milford High School student, Sean McGee. Baez now up to 61 pitches as he deals with his first batter of the 4th inning. McGee sends a bounding ball to the right side. A couple of tricky hops, but in the end, an easy play for Oquendo. McGee now 0 for 2, and we go back up to the top spot in the batting order, Nick Paharic. Nick began the rally last inning with a walk. Came around to score on the RBI single by Dante Pavone. Takes the first pitch strike on the outside edge. Leominster scoring 11 runs yesterday as they eliminated Rockland post 147. Here, Nick Paharic with a line drive past the reach of Nick Garcia, who was playing in tight at third base. And so Nick is on for the second time. A walk last inning, now a single here with one out in the fourth. And now Noah Curley will stand in. Curley is 1 for 2 with a base hit. Rolls the ball foul off behind the plate. Cornelius grabs it, slings it back to the home plate umpire. So with that hit last inning, Noah Curley now has 6 hits in this state tournament. That is the most of any player in this Milford lineup. Baez with a very soft pickoff toss over to first base. Paharic back in with the dive. Nick is a base stealing threat. Two balls and 1 strike now on Curley. Back out to a lead at first base for Paharic. He does not go as the pitch is grounded foul to the backstop. And it is a 2-ball and 2-strike count. The next pitch for Baez will be number 70. Runner takes off. The pitch is in the dirt. No, that will hit Curley. So Curley down to first base. Paharic to second. 2 on with 1 out in the inning. The second time that Curley's been hit by a pitch in this tournament. Andrew Gaughan leads this tournament with 3 hit-by pitches. As this ball is hit to third base, it explodes on Nick Garcia. It gets past his glove, and Paharic will come around from second base to score. Curley advances to third, and Evan Cornelius winds up at second base. Garcia frustrated. It was tough to tell from our angle if he was able to make contact with that ball with the glove. It took a tricky hop right in front of him. And so for our scoring purposes, we'll put that in the books as a hit for Cornelius. It drives in a run to give Milford now a 4-2 lead. And 2 more in scoring position now for post 59. Activity now warming for Leominster. As Dante Pavone takes the first pitch strike. Dante drove in a run with a single last inning. He's now up to 3 runs batted in the tournament as he lifts a pitch now out to right field. Charging in on it is Arsenault. He makes the catch. Bluffing down the line is Curley. And he wisely holds up as it was a good throw in from right field by Arsenault. So that one not hit deep enough for Curley to try and score. Pavone out on the pop out. And that leaves the inning up to Cam Jarrett. A strikeout and a walk has been Cam's day so far. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Milford now with 6 hits in the game. They're now out hitting Leominster 6-5 and leading this game 4-2, but a chance to tack on with 2 in scoring position. Here comes a 1-1 pitch, and that narrowly misses.
Good
3-1 now on Gone. Both runners leading away now for Milford. As Baez delivers the 3-1 pitch, it's low for ball 4. Another walk for Jarrett. And another bases loaded opportunity for Milford. We'll see if Coach Didion makes a pitching change here. Right now, not making a move out there. Outside of the dugout, leaning up against the chain link, is the Leominster head coach, as Baez will deal with Scott Paliuka, who looks at ball 1 low. And right now, this is the bat Milford wants at the plate. Paliuka 2 for 2, and drove in 2 big runs with a double last inning to give Milford the lead. He now has 7 hits in 12 at-bats in this state tournament. And Scott's driven in 3 runs, has 2 doubles. A conversation now on the pitcher's mound between Baez and the catcher, Tony Salvatelli, as Coach Didion, along with another member of the Leominster coaching staff, start to wander down toward the Leominster bullpen. Coach DeVito also heading over in that area. And so right now, the 2 head coaches, along with some other staff, have convened over at the corner of the left field bleachers, just off from where Leominster has activity warming up in their bullpen. And Coach Didion now gesturing heavily as he backs away, now returning towards the dugout. We're going to have a member of the State Legion delegation make their way out onto the warning track as well. Can't quite get a handle on the situation, but Coach Didion clearly not happy. And Coach DeVito now alongside one of the State Legion personnel, continuing to have a conversation. Coach DeVito and Coach Didion now with a couple of words exchanged. Normally very amicable between these 2 coaching staffs. So just unsure of what exactly transpired over there down the left field side, but play now set to continue. And it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count now on Paliuka. And a pitch misses outside. 3-1 now. A walk would force in a run. Curley at third, Cornelius at second, Cam Jarrett, who just walked at first. Nowhere to put Paliuka. Here comes Baez's 3-1 pitch, and it is low for ball 4. A bases loaded walk for Scott Paliuka. That will give him his 3rd run batted in of the day, as Curley will cross the plate. The bases reloaded, and now Coach Didion to the pitcher's mound. He will take the baseball from Angel Baez. First time through the order, Baez had a lot of success, but Milford able to make the adjustments from there. And they chase Baez from the ball game. And so we will see a new pitcher on here for post 151. We will pause very briefly for the pitching change. It is now a 5-2 lead for post 59. And Milford will again have the bases loaded when we return next. Stay with us on this coverage here on Milford TV. The new pitcher on for Leominster is number 5, Tyler Godin. He inherits a bases loaded 2-out jam. Milford with Keith Lee at the plate. 2 runs in this inning for Milford as they have taken a 5-2 lead. Now the first pitch from Godin skips to the backstop, and in from third base comes Cornelius to score to make it a 6-2 game. So Godin comes into the game and throws a wild pitch on his first pitch. And Milford tacks on to the lead. Everyone moves up, so now Jarrett is your lead runner at third with Paliuka at second base. And a 2-ball, no-strike count on Keith Lee, who has worked a pair of walks in his first 2 plate appearances. Now takes the pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Milford trying to maximize the damage in this inning. Lee now sends this ball on a hop inside the Leominster dugout. And from a 2-0 count, it's now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the next one from Godin, a breaking ball, and it's sent on the ground to shortstop, and that grabs a piece of Paliuka on the way by, so Scott will be out as that ball hits him in fair ground and might have gotten him on the hand as he starts to flex it out heading back to the dugout. So that will end the inning. Paliuka perhaps trying to shield the shortstop there from being able to see that ground ball, but it ends up getting him. And that is how the inning comes to an end. A bit of a bizarre way for the inning to end, but Milford does score 2 more.
We have 2 drawings. The first is
And they are able, I beg your pardon, they score 3 times in the inning. And it is now a 6-2 Milford lead on top of Leominster, as we will move on to inning number 5 next on the coverage here on Milford TV.
for the third baseman, Nick Garcia.
First pitch swinging, Nick Garcia fouls a ball out of play. This game was all Leominster early. A run in the first, a run in the second to give post 151 a 2-0 lead. Milford looked a little disoriented out on the field, unlike we've seen them this year. But they have been able to get things back on track. And they have now scored 6 unanswered runs to take a 6-2 lead now into the 5th inning. Trying to survive on to the final day of this state tournament. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count now on Garcia, who is 0 for 2 today. Next pitch from Gaughan is shot over towards second base, waiting for it Jarrett. Short throw to first base to get the out. And so a couple of different scenarios for how things will continue to play out over the final days of this tournament. Whichever one of these teams prevails in this game will move on to play on the 5th and final day. The other team will be eliminated. And then we will have a game tonight between Franklin Post 75, more on that in a moment, as Tony Salvatelli sends the first pitch he sees down toward third base. And McGee able to make the play and the throw for out number 2. So the game tonight will feature Franklin Post 75 and a resilient Greenfield Post 81 team. Should Franklin prevail, only 3 teams would make it to tomorrow. As this ball is sent down the right field line, could be trouble. It is down for a base hit. So Michael Cooper is able to collect his second hit of the game. It denies Andrew Gaughan the 1-2-3 frame, and we will now see Dylan Adamson in the inning. In the scenario where it is only 3 teams that make it to tomorrow, or I beg your pardon, if Franklin wins tonight, it will only be 2 teams making it on to tomorrow, in which case we would see those teams play head-to-head in the afternoon, and should Franklin lose, they would return to the field to play a second and deciding game in what would be effectively a 2-game doubleheader state championship. If Franklin were to lose tonight, that would be the scenario where 3 teams would make it to the final day. And make it a little bit more creative tomorrow here as Dylan Adamson sends a fly ball out to center field. And it ends up being a quick inning here as Leominster is retired, stranding a runner at first base. So we'll go over those scenarios a little bit more when we get back for the bottom half of the 5th inning. Stay with us here on the coverage on Milford TV. The hit column is now tied at 6, but Milford leads where it counts, 6-2. As we are now into the bottom of the 5th inning. Batters 8, 9, and 1 due up for Milford, starting with Mason Baldick. And after coming to the plate in a couple of pressure-packed situations earlier in the game, Baldick leading off this 5th inning. He is 0 for 2. Sticks the bat out and sends this ball foul out of play. Tyler Godin back out on the mound after finishing off the bottom of the 4th, getting an unusual force play to end the inning, with Paliuka getting hit by the ball off the bat of Keith Lee. And now a 2-2 pitch coming up to Baldick. And it's lifted in the air, foul off to the right side. So again, if 3 teams make it to the final day of the tournament tomorrow, then we'll see a bit of a round-robin action where Franklin will be a spectator while the other 2 teams duke it out early in the day, and whichever team emerges from that matchup will play Franklin in a 1-game winner-take-all. But if Franklin wins tonight, then it will just be Franklin and the winner of this game moving on to the championship day, setting up the possibility for a doubleheader of championship games. So some intriguing options on the way for tomorrow. Here's a ground ball hit to shortstop off the bat of Baldick. A little bit of a juggle there by Nicolette, but gets the throw to first base in time for the out. The last time Milford was in the state tournament back in 2019, they battled back after a loss on day 1 to make their way into the final day of the state tournament, and we did see that scenario with 3 different teams making it to the tournament finale. It was Milford along with Shrewsbury and Braintree. Braintree was the last unbeaten team in the tournament, so they were able to wait as the 2 Zone 4 teams collided. Milford was able to defeat Shrewsbury, but then ran out of gas in that matchup against Braintree, as Braintree would win that 2019 state championship. Meanwhile, Sean McGee with a fly ball out to right field, caught by Arsenal. And so Baldick and McGee, a couple of Milford High students getting into the starting lineup today, but they have gone a combined 0 for 6. Milford not getting much production out of the bottom of the lineup today. But the top of the lineup has been a different story. Paharic, Curley, and Cornelius have reached base a total of 5 times through 9 at-bats. Paharic himself has reached on a walk and a single. Each time he has been on base, he has scored. Next pitch from Godin, and it's fouled over the backstop, out of play. Bases empty with 2 quick outs here in the Milford 5th. And the 1-2 pitch is lifted out to shallow left field. Adamson is there. He makes the catch, and that will retire the side. So Tyler Godin able to bounce back. He gets a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 5th inning. 5 full innings in the books now from Pheno Field. And it is Milford 6 and Leominster 2 in this elimination game on day 4 of the Massachusetts Legion Baseball State Tournament, live here on Milford TV. One defensive change for Milford as we begin the top of the 6th inning. Scott Paliuka has been removed from this game. Andrew Dennison in, he takes over in center field, as Dennison will immediately get an opportunity out in center. He makes the catch on that ball off the bat of Evan McCarthy. So Dennison in center.
Now batting number 3, the shortstop, Nick.
Noah Curley moves over to right field. And Mason Baldick now moves over to left field. And you have to imagine that that is related to that ball put in play to end the bottom of the 4th inning, where the ball clipped Paliuka on the hand. You could see him grimacing as he went back to the dugout. And so he's now out of the game, and that's a big loss for Milford, especially in this game where Paliuka has been perfect at the plate. 2 hits, a walk, and 3 runs batted in. Meanwhile, a 3-ball, 1-strike count now on the number 8 hitter, Nick Ouellette. 90 pitches in the outing for Andrew Gaughan, as he deals ball 4. So a 1-out base runner for Leominster. And you really have to admire the effort here today for Andrew Gaughan. It did not start the way that Gaughan would have liked. He faced 6 batters in the 1st inning, allowing a run, as Milford committed 2 errors in the field. Another 6 batters came to the plate in the 2nd inning, with Leominster grabbing a 2nd run. But Gaughan was eventually able to pitch out of runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs in that 2nd inning. So a sort of bend but don't break inning for Gaughan, and since then he has been able to hold Leominster in check. Getting better as this game has gone on, now deep into his pitch count, 93 pitches. So we'll see how much longer Coach DeVito allows Gaughan to remain on the mound. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count now on the number 9 man, Oquendo. Gaughan checks on the runner at first base. Gaughan has allowed just 2 hits and 2 walks since the 2nd inning. So he has tightened it up. Now a ground ball hit towards shortstop. Paharic will flip to 2nd out there. Relay on to 1st. Good stretch by Pavone to finish off the 6-4-3 double play. And so the inning rapidly comes to an end. Paharic starts it, Jarrett with a good turn, and Pavone with an excellent stretch at the first base bag to finish off a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. That's the defense we're used to seeing out of this post-59 team. And we will move on to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is still 6-2 Milford here on Milford TV. Milford at the plate. They are 3 defensive outs away from moving on to the final day of this Massachusetts State Tournament. Noah Curley leading off the bottom of the 6th with a chopper hit over to 2nd base. Oquendo to McCarthy. And Curley is out number 1. And Milford looked a bit sluggish as this game started. committing 3 errors in the first 2 innings. Looking a bit rudderless, but their bats woke up. Starting in the 3rd inning, Andrew Gaughan has gotten stronger on the mound as the game has gone on, and the defense has quickly snapped back into place as well, including a big inning-ending double play moments ago. Looking to eliminate one of their Zone 4 rivals and earn their place on the last day of the tournament. Evan Cornelius at the plate, and he is down on 3 pitches. Back during the Zone 4 playoffs, Milford battled back after a defeat in the earlier rounds against Shrewsbury to serve as one of the final 2 teams standing in the zone playoffs, along with Leominster. Leominster went in to their matchup with Milford unbeaten. Milford was able to come through with that 13-5 win. And for a time, we thought there was going to be one more deciding game between these 2 teams to determine the outright Zone 4 champion, but ultimately they decided against that and to name both teams co-champions of Zone 4. And so Milford with a 3-0 record against Leominster on the season, hoping to make it 4-0 if they can shut the door on this game today. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count here on Dante Pavone as he watches that pitch miss low. And Pavone now going over to chat with Coach DeVito. Not sure if maybe he got shaken up on that pitch in the dirt. Now settles back into the box. The 2-2 pitch, that is inside. Pavone jackknifing out of the way. And it's a full count now. If Pavone reaches, we'll see Cam Jarrett in the inning. Here is the 3-2, and it's sent down the right field line. Arsenault giving chase, but that will land in foul territory, out of the reach of the Leominster right fielder. Another 3-2 pitch, and this one is hit hard down the left field line. That is a fair ball, and will be extra bases for Pavone as it ends up all the way down in the left field corner. And Pavone jogs down into second base with a 2-out double. That's the 3rd extra base hit of the game for Post 59. It's the 2nd hit of the day for Dante Pavone. Denies Godin the chance at a 1-2-3 inning, and now an insurance run in scoring position for Milford ahead of Cam Jarrett. First pitch misses high. And a spin off the pitcher's mound for Tyler Godin, but nobody covering the second base bag. Pavone taking no chances as he dove back into second. 1-0 pitch. And this is hit hard over the reach of the second baseman, Oquendo. They will wave Pavone around from third base as the ball briefly gets past Arsenault. Now the throw down to second, not in time. Jarrett slides in safely. And that insurance run crosses the plate. Milford with back-to-back 2-out hits. Pavone scores, and Milford takes a 7-2 lead. I think that might go as a single for Jarrett, and in the bobble out there in right field for Arsenault, an error charged to the right fielder to allow Jarrett to move into scoring position. Should still get an RBI on the play. And so now an at bat for Andrew Dennison, who squares around to bunt and pops it up foul out of play. Dennison batting in the number 6 spot, replacing Scott Paliuka, who was removed for what we believe was an injury. Now Denizen fouling this pitch off and out of play. Andrew started the first 2 games of this tournament. Was on the bench yesterday, started this game on the bench as well. He is 1 for 8 through the tournament so far. He has struck out 4 times. He has a stolen base. So it's been a little bit of an offensive struggle for Denizen. See if he can break out here. A 1-2 pitch. He lets it go outside. Two and two now. And that pitch misses. And the count now runs full. Keith Lee hoping to get a chance to hit in this inning. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it's sent on the ground through the right side of the infield for a base hit. Around third base comes Jarrett. He will score. The throw comes in towards the plate, and that allows Denizen to sneak into scoring position at second base. So a pinch hit RBI single for Andrew Denizen. He takes second base on the throw. And Milford now with 3 straight hits after the first 2 batters of the inning were retired. And it is now an 8-2 lead for Milford. And this is going to bring Coach Didion back out of the dugout. So now a 6-run lead for Post 59 against their zone rival. No pitching change here on the Leominster side. They'll stick with Godin.
Now batting number 20, Keith Lee.
And Keith Lee now at the plate. It was Keith who hit that ball towards shortstop in his last at bat that got the hand of Scott Paliuka and eventually forced him out of this game. You certainly hope that that's just for precautionary reasons. Looking more and more likely that Milford will play on to the finale of this tournament tomorrow, and Paliuka an important bat in this lineup. Lee now with a big swing and a miss. He is down in the count, 0-2. 40 pitches now for Tyler Godin since entering the game. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's waved at and missed for strike 3. And so that will end the inning, but Milford able to push 2 insurance runs across the plate, and they will carry an 8-2 lead into the 7th inning, 3 outs away from moving on to the final day of this state tournament. Andrew gone back out to the mound to finish what he started. We will have the top of the 7th inning when we return next. Stay with the coverage here on Milford TV. Top of the 7th inning getting underway. Milford's starting pitcher Andrew gone back on the mound. A ground ball here hit to shortstop, and it eats up Nick Paharic. A chance for Milford to get a fast out to open this 7th inning, but Paharic commits his 2nd error of the game. And the leadoff runner is on. 4 errors now in the game for Milford. Not the easiest of plays, but certainly one Paharic was capable of making. And so Milford with 5 errors now in their last 2 games. Certainly something they want to see tighten back up should the score remain where it is and Milford advances to tomorrow. Ground ball now hit to third base, and that is past the dive of Sean McGee. So Arsenault reaches on the error. Now Sean Dutton with a single, and Leominster starting to get something cooking, and Coach DeVito now out of the dugout. Andrew gone at 97 pitches, and he is ready to hand off the baseball. Trying to get another complete game out of this Milford pitching staff, but it will not happen here today. And Andrew Gahn will move over to his normal defensive post at third base. And so it looks like we'll see Gahn move to third and Sean McGee move out to left field as Mason Baldick will now make his way to the dugout. So Leominster not going quietly here in the top of the 7th inning. They've put a couple of runners on, nobody out yet in the inning. And so we'll let you know the new pitcher on for Post 59 when we return next. Stay with the coverage here on Milford TV. So Andrew Gahn leaves the pitcher's mound after 6+ innings. Ended up allowing 2 runs, 1 earned on 7 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 3. He leaves responsible for the runners aboard at first and second base, as we will now see Louis Denizen come out of the bullpen. It's our first chance to see Louis in action on our Milford TV coverage. And so Louis Denizen making his 4th appearance on the pitcher's mound this season. All of those have been relief appearances. He's thrown 4 innings on the season, has thrown a total of 61 pitches. No record. He does have a save on the year. Sidearm delivery as this ball is sent out into right field. The catch is made. And Noah Curley ends up sending the ball back into the cutoff man. Dutton got caught a little far off the first base bag, but able to get back. So deceptive delivery style out of Denizen, who in his 4 innings pitched on the season has allowed 3 hits, no earned runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 5. He has hit a batter. He stranded 7 runners on base. He's got 2 out there right now with 1 down. And deals ball 1 low to Tony Salvatelli after Garcia was retired on that line out. Nick Garcia held hitless out of the number 3 spot in this Leominster order. So it's now the cleanup man, Tony Salvatelli, who was 1 for 3. He reached on an infield single all the way back in the 1st inning. Two and 0 now the count. And that one on the inside corner for a strike. It is not often you see a sidearm style delivery at the Legion level. Not an angle these hitters are used to seeing. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's fouled away, and it looked like Salvatelli fouled that ball off himself. He'll take a little stroll here. 2-2 now is the count. Everyone's still standing in the Leominster dugout, desperate to see a rally here in the 7th inning to keep their season going. Leominster resilient in this tournament after dropping a tough extra inning defeat to Framingham on day 1. They then survived an extra inning thriller on day 2, eliminating Fall River. And then yesterday their bats exploded for 11 runs, eliminating Rockland. So they have had some big wins here over the last 2 days to survive on to this 4th day of competition. 2-2 pitch now, and that misses well outside. Louis Denizen graduated from Holliston High School in 2021, now a student at Nichols College. About to deliver a 3-2 pitch. And that narrowly misses on the outside part of the plate. So Salvatelli works ball 4. He heads down to first base, and Leominster has the bases loaded now with 1 down.
Now batting number 17, Michael.
Hey, wherever it takes you now.
And a hit in this situation from Michael Cooper could start to make things interesting. And how big do those two insurance runs Milford scored in the bottom of the 6th look now? If not for those insurance runs, Cooper would represent the tying run at the plate. Dennison deals in a first pitch strike to Cooper, who drove in a run with a single in the first inning. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Oh, one pitch misses upstairs. Milford 2 outs away from a victory, but Leominster not making things easy. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that misses for ball 2. Dennison struggling to find command here, and these Leominster batters showing good patience in these pressure situations. That time, Cooper offers with the swing. And that will even the count at 2-2. Dennison could use a strikeout here for the second out of the inning. Brandon Arsenault at third, Sean Dutton at second, Tony Salvatelli at first. Now a 2-2 pitch, and it's high for ball 3. And so a big pitch coming up here for the right-hander. No room on the bases for Michael Cooper. The set and the 3-2 pitch. Low for ball 4. So Cooper will get his second RBI on the bases loaded walk. It forces Arsenault in from third base. Everyone else able to advance, and we'll see a visit here from the Milford coaching staff, as it is now an 8-3 score. And right now, Leominster has the tying run in the on-deck circle. And all of a sudden, the Milford fans starting to inch a little bit closer to the edge of their seat, not liking what's developing here in this top of the 7th inning. We've seen Leominster pull off some heroics in this tournament, but this would be a major deficit to overcome in the 7th inning. They've been able to grab 1 run so far. Bases loaded, still just 1 out. And Dylan Adamson now will dig in as the mound visit breaks up. Leominster runners walking out to leads at their respective bases as Dennison now sends the first pitch into Adamson, and it's a called strike. Dylan today has grounded out to shortstop, doubled, and flown out to center field. A 1 pitch, and it's fouled to the backstop. So Dennison here able to get ahead of the batter. Ready now with an 0-2 pitch, and it's floated over towards second base. They'll flip to second for the out there, spin around to first base by Paharic is not in time to get the out at first base. So they get Cooper on the force play at second base. Adamson safe at first on the fielder's choice, and in from third base comes Sean Dutton. So Leominster now makes it an 8-4 score. But they are now down to their last out. It will take something from Evan McCarthy if the game is to continue. McCarthy takes the first pitch strike. Evan's been on base twice. He's singled and walked. He's also scored a run. Denizen trying to get out of this inning and send Milford to the championship day. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on McCarthy. Tony Salvatelli is now the lead runner at third with Dylan Adamson at first. The tying run remains in the on-deck circle for now, and Louis Denizen hoping to leave him there. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that skips away. Here comes the runner in from third base, and he will slide in safely. And so a wild pitch brings Salvatelli to the plate. Adamson moves down to second base, so it is now 8-5. That's the first run charge to Denizen. And now a 2-1 pitch coming up to McCarthy. It's sent foul down the third base line. And Leominster now down to their last strike. Milford now in survival mode, trying to get out of this inning and get out of this game. It's gotten close now, down to a 3-run lead. Denizen to the set. The 2-2 pitch, and that skips in. Cornelius can't find it, and Adamson moves on to third base. So Leominster digging deep in this inning. Milford getting a little bit sloppy. And a run, potential run now stands at third base with a 3-2 count on McCarthy. Should he reach, we would see the tying run come to the plate. The payoff pitch now to McCarthy, and it's a bounding ball hit to shortstop, knocked down by Paharic, but he will not have a play. McCarthy reaches, Adamson scores, and it is now an 8-6 game as Leominster will bring the tying run to the plate. Leominster will send a pinch runner now out to first base. Adam Bissett will replace McCarthy.
Number 7 is running for number 30.
And so that, I would think, will go as an infield single. A very difficult play for Paharic. And so we will now see a pinch hitter come to the plate. Daniel Wright will bat for Nick Ouellette. Ouellette had been 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. He did walk in his last plate appearance. It has been a 4-run inning so far for Leominster in the 7th. And once again, Milford scoring 2 insurance runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it is thanks to those insurance runs that Milford still holds on to the lead. Denizen dealing strike 1 into Wright. Off the bench in a key situation in this game. Leominster still down to their last out, but feeling a lot more alive in this game than they did a few minutes ago. Down to a 2-run deficit, tying run at the plate. And here's the 1-1 pitch. That is in for strike 2. And again, Milford is 1 strike away from victory. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the pinch hitter. And the pitch from Denizen is slapped down the third base line. It's going to be a tough play. An off-balance throw from Andrew Gaughan. No chance at first base. Soft contact on these last 2 balls put in play by McCarthy, and now Wright back-to-back infield singles. And the tying runs are aboard now for post 151. The go-ahead run will now come to the plate. And Alex Oquendo now will step in. This has been an incredible development here in the top of the 7th inning. Milford with a comfortable 6-run lead that is now down to 2. And the game suddenly hanging in the balance as Dennison deals in strike 1 to Alex Oquendo. Coach DeVito continuing to keep Dennison out there, hoping he can get one more out. He's now thrown 27 pitches. Here's the 0-1, and it's a line drive down the right field line, and it is a foul ball. And no, a fair ball. And now finally waved off. You could clearly see the first base umpire ruled that ball foul, but the runners continued around to circle the bases, and now finally the home plate umpire gives the definitive sign that that was a foul ball, but that was very close down the right field side. That would have tied the game for sure. And instead the runners have to retreat back to first and second base. All of the momentum now with Leominster. Dennison now flexing out that pitching arm. After that close call, it is a no ball, 2-strike count on Alex Oquendo. Dennison surveying the bases, now fires to the plate, and this is a line drive hit out to right, this time a fair ball. They'll wave the runner around from second base. The throw is cut off. Evan McCarthy, or excuse me, the pinch runner Bissett will score from second base. Daniel Wright goes from first to third. And it is now an 8-7 score. And Coach DeVito now has gone over to the Legion officials under the state tent. Just a quick conversation there, and now Coach DeVito heading out to the pitcher's mound. This has been an incredible rally for post 151, and now you have to think back to how this inning started. Brandon Arsenal, first pitch swinging, a little grounder to shortstop that Paharic booted to allow Arsenal to reach it. He'd been able to make that play, this game would be over. Instead, we have seen 9 batters come to the plate for Leominster. 5 of them have scored. They've cut this deficit down to 1 run, and Milford now will be forced to use another arm here. And so right now it looks like Nick Paharic stands on the pitcher's mound, so perhaps the conversation with the Legion staff was regarding the rest status of Paharic. And so looking at the stats from yesterday's game, Paharic made a lengthy relief appearance. He pitched 2 2/3 innings. He threw 43 pitches in the game, which according to the regulations we have, it would have necessitated a day of rest, but perhaps there are some other rules at play here at this stage of the tournament, and that was what Coach DeVito was checking on with the state staff, and so Paharic is back on here in relief for the 2nd straight game. And so Louis Dennison making his first relief appearance of the tournament. It did not go well. He threw 29 pitches, allowed a couple of inherited runners to score, then 3 of his own, as it has been a 5-run rally to pull Leominster back from the brink. And they are now very much in this game. They have the tying and go-ahead runs on base. As Peharik continues to make warm-up tosses here, so it looks like Louis Consigli has come into the game to take over at second base, with Cam Jarrett shifting over to shortstop with Peharik coming into the game. And so now here we go, back up to the top spot in the Leominster order. And so once again, it is Brandon Arsenault. As we just mentioned, he got this started reaching on an error, eventually came around to score the first of Leominster's 5 runs in this inning. He bats with the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at first, swings at the first pitch and sends it in the air out to left center field. It continues to travel back, and it's over the reach of the left fielder. And 2 runs are going to score here for post 151. Sliding into third base with a 2-run triple is Brandon Arsenault, and Leominster has completed the comeback. They score 2 runs here and take a 9-8 lead. Off the bat, it looked like that was going to be a routine fly ball, but it just kept carrying and carrying out to left field. And it was out of the reach of Sean McGee. And these Leominster fans pumped up now as this ball is sent in the air by Sean Dutton out to right field. The catch is made by Noah Curley to bring an end to the inning, but an incredible jaw-dropping comeback here for Leominster post 151. They entered into the 7th inning on the brink of elimination, down 8-2, and they score 7 runs in the top of the 7th inning, and they now lead this game 9-8, and it will take some resiliency now from post 59 to stave off elimination themselves. A shocking turn of events here. We don't know what to expect in the bottom of the 7th inning, but it comes your way next here on Milford TV. A lot of time being taken in between the top and the bottom half of the 7th inning. Right now, a big powwow going on just off of home plate between the 2 head coaches, members of the coaching staff, the umpires, the State Legion crew. And so in the meantime, we can start to go through what we believe are all of the changes for Leominster coming into this bottom of the 7th inning. We'll start on the pitcher's mound, where Nick Garcia takes over as the 3rd pitcher of the day for post 151. So now let's go around the current defensive alignment. Tony Salvatelli remains behind the plate. Brandon Arsenault is now at 3rd base. Alex Oquendo now shifts to shortstop. Daniel Wright enters the game at 2nd base, and Declan Borgalt is now in the game at 1st base. And to the best of our knowledge, the outfield alignment is Dylan Adamson in left, Sean Dutton in center, and Adam Bissett into the game in right field. A gritty, relentless comeback for Leominster in the top half of the 7th inning, scoring 7 times to take a 9-8 lead. And now we'll see what Milford can do to respond, as it is Louis Consigli who will get his first at-bat of the state tournament, with Milford needing at least 1 run to keep this game alive. Consigli takes over in the number 8 spot in the batting order that was previously occupied by Mason Baldick, and is now down in the count 1-2. And good velocity on these pitches so far for Garcia. It seemed to be a foregone conclusion that Milford was on their way to the final day of the tournament, as now Consigli sends a harmless fly ball out into center field. Dutton makes the catch, and Consigli is out number 1. And so now here is Sean McGee, and we've talked about it. Milford has gotten no production out of their 8 and 9 spots in the batting order, and those are the spots up first here in this bottom of the 7th. Consigli out number 1. Now this ball lined out to right field. That drops down for a base hit. So Sean McGee able to come through with a 1-out hit. And Milford will put the tying run on with 1 out in the 7th. They will bring the potential winning run to the plate. As we go back up to the top of the order, and Nick Paharic.
9 for 3. 9 for 3. 9 for 3.
And now a pinch runner will come on to replace Sean McGee as Nick Koch comes out to take over at first. It has been so hard to predict this game. It felt like Leominster had a chance to break this game open early. Milford looked flat, then it was Milford who roared to life. Seized control of the game in the middle innings, pushed it to an 8-2 lead coming into the 7th inning, needing just 3 outs to advance. But Leominster with a miraculous 7-run rally to take a lead. And now Milford at the plate, a ground ball hit to third. And Leominster goes the cautious route as Arsenault sends the throw to first base to retire Paharic. The out goes 5-3. It is now Milford down to their last out. They have the tying run in scoring position. And Milford's season now rests in the bat of one of their most reliable hitters through the state tournament, Noah Curley. He takes the first pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Noah today has struck out, singled, has been hit by a pitch, and has grounded out. A 1 pitch, and it is slapped on the ground towards second base, fielded by Wright. He flips it to first base, and this ball game comes to an end. And Leominster pours out of the dugout to celebrate. This will be a comeback victory for Post 151 that will be remembered for a long time. Milford has been their nemesis all season long, defeating them twice in the regular season, besting them in the Zone 4 playoffs. And Milford was 3 outs away from making it 4 wins over Leominster this season, but Post 151 would not let it happen again. And a shocking comeback here for Leominster leads to a 9-8 victory. And so Leominster will advance to the championship day in this 2022 state tournament. And Milford's 2022 season has come to a heartbreaking conclusion. And just shocking here to see this turn of events. These players, these coaches ready to move on to day 5. They had the pitching lined up the way they wanted it. These fans were ready to celebrate moving on to the last day. But credit Leominster with one of the most incredible comebacks we have seen. They have been the epitome of resilience throughout this tournament. And again, they win this game by a final score of 9-8. So Leominster is the first team to punch their ticket to the final day of the tournament. And we'll see ultimately how things turn out as Franklin and Greenfield now take the field to prepare to play in the night game. So it'll either be all 3 teams moving on to tomorrow, or it will be just Franklin and Leominster. A rematch from day 1 of the tournament. But regardless, Milford's trip through the state tournament comes to an end. It was a fantastic run for Milford, exciting games all the way through. But unfortunately, it comes to an end here on day 4. And we have certainly had a blast covering this tournament here on Milford TV. A lot of great baseball has been played over this week. And once again, we have to give all the credit in the world to this Milford Post 59 organization. Milford Legion President Steve Galino for running a first-rate tournament here at Milford's Pheno Field. The 3rd time that Milford has hosted the state tournament in the last 7 years. And it just gets better and better each time Milford plays host to this event. We certainly hope to see the state tournament return here to Pheno Field once again in short order. But this will be our last broadcast here from Pheno. And congratulations to Post 59 on a great season, and we wish the best of luck to Leominster, Franklin, and Greenfield as they close out this tournament here in 2022. Well, I want to send a sincere thank you to all of our Milford TV crew that has helped out through these last 4 days of tournament play. We've had great work. Our crew for the game today, our director is Nick Coelho, our camera operator is Caitlin Mobilia. We've also had Jack Marino, Jerry Maglita, and Scott Crisafulli helping to make our coverage happen throughout this week as well. So credit to all of our Milford TV crew, all of the staff here at the field, and I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time, a shocking conclusion to this game here tonight as Leominster comes back to defeat Milford by a final score of 9-8. This has been a presentation of Milford Legion Baseball here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.